Hello everybody, Aiden here, and welcome into another video here on the Around the Slice Entertainment YouTube channel. So, last night, episode 10 of season 2 of The Pitt, entitled 4 o'clock p.m., premiered on HBO and HBO Max. As always, every week, as I do every week around here, I am here to give you my biggest takeaways slash thoughts on said episode. Without further ado, let's get right into it. I don't want to bear the lead here. Right off the top, I just want to thematically, this was a very, very draining episode as an audience. None more so than the situation with Roxie, the patient who is sadly basically dying from cancer. This patient has basically been with us the entire season, all 9 or 10 episodes, give or take, of season 2. This is really a really tough storyline to watch. Every time she came on screen, she clearly doesn't have any energy anymore. She clearly wants as much morphine as possible. She clearly wants to end her suffering, end her pain, if you would. And I teared up whenever she was on screen, whether it was McKay talking to her, Javadi talking to her, one of them, both of them, whatever. It was really just heartbreaking to watch as an audience. And then seeing her husband come in and see her in her last moments, her children come in and see her in the last moments, and then the second one being encouraged by McKay. It was, man, I almost cried at multiple points. I definitely teared up. Shows don't usually give it like that. The Pitt is obviously about injury, but we don't get emotional storylines like this too often. So this threw me for a loop in terms of the emotional resonance, of it, if you would. And at the end, obviously, we see the cliffhanger that McKay is about to put the final dose of morphine, ketamine, I can't remember what it was called, my apologies. I believe it's morphine in her, and basically, which will slow down her breathing and eventually end her breathing, which, like, spoiler alert, she's, for all intents and purposes, gonna die right then and there. Um, Again, I hope they don't, kind of like a Louis situation. We're gonna lose another major patient. Obviously, not to the extent of Louis of a season plus knowing her, but in terms of, I hope they do it swiftly. I hope they do it quickly at the beginning of next episode, and they don't drag it out for the last 5 episodes of the season, specifically, mainly as a whole. Obviously, Javadi is affected by this. Talking about mother-daughter relationships, she sees the mother of the children suffering, and it encourages her to rebuild her relationship with her mother because she pressures Javadi to do all the stuff with the medical Dr. Shamsi, whatever. Dr. Shamsi, excuse me. It encourages her to rebuild that relationship. At least she tries. The mother still kind of like makes her stressed out, but at least she tries based off of this. But this resonated with me, man. This hit home. It's not like I have a personal experience with this stuff, any family member near me, but just watching this is like, it's emotional for sure, and it was very, very sad. But moving past the sad stuff, obviously we know what the tragic water slide break at the end of the last episode. You could see it, you could feel what was going on here. The intensity between all our characters and doctors here was absolutely felt and on display throughout the throughout the entire episode. Multiple people were at each other's necks. Multiple people, if you would, right each other's throats, per se, if you would. It all, for instance, Garcia calling out Santos on multiple occasions, and Santos making quippy remarks, like when Langdon asks her a question, he's like, basically, what the f? That's a medical student question, and then Dr. L clarifies this is a teaching hospital. It's always fun. It's always nice to review. Always a good refresher to review. And then Dr. Garcia calls her out multiple times because she kind of doesn't agree. And honestly, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I actually think it's a good thing because Santos kind of like goes moping around here thinking she's the best. She kind of treats everyone like an asshole, everyone like an a-hole, and she's always miserable, it seems like, all the time. So I feel like she needed that reality check where, no, Langdon is your not direct superior, but Langdon is your senior resident, and you can learn a lot, as they say, from your, as Dr. L mentions, you can learn a lot from your senior residents. So I felt like that was put on display. And then we see, holy shit, guys, Dr. Robbie just rips Dr. Mohan Samira a new one. I mean, so she thinks she's having a heart attack when she goes out to chairs in the waiting room. Luckily, Joy kind of steps up and says, "Get in the chair." Dr. Mohan says, "No, I'm fine." Then she says, "Get in the effing chair." And she thinks she's having a heart attack. She can't breathe. She's about to faint. Yada, yada, yada. And then come to find out it's just a panic attack over her mother. And Dr. Robbie absolutely explodes. I think he's feeling the pressure of everything that's going on between the fatal slash tragic slash deadly water slide break and obviously the cyber attack. But that was pretty effed up and messed up for him to do. Later, he kind of apologizes, but Dr. Mullen is clearly taking back. I mean, he absolutely chews her out. No sympathy whatsoever. I don't like that side of Dr. Robbie, but we'll have to see how it goes going forward. Dr. Robbie's alluded to his motorcycle friend Duke this whole entire season rather. We finally meet his friend Duke. Now, there were some rumors swirling online the last few episodes of the show, that HBO show, that Duke is they're foreshadowing Duke coming in with a very severe motorcycle injury. That didn't come to fruition. That rumor was kind of debauched, botched, if you will. I don't know how to say that, but that rumor was kind of put to bed when he did come in. It's not because of a severe injury, but he did come in on Dr. Robbie's forceful recommendation, apparently, according to both guys, to check out his voice box and his vocal cords might be strained. I like how they still snuck in, not a jab, but they still snuck in kind of a criticism. If they still stuck in a criticism of dialogue toward Dr. Robbie's motorcycle sabbatical, because Dr. Robbie says, "Oh, I'm just going to leave. No problem after the shift." And then Duke is like, only an absolute moron idiot would leave after a 12-hour shift like this and drive in the dark all night like that for 12 more hours. And Whitaker agrees. And as an audience member, I completely agree. That's a motorcycle crash waiting to happen. That's a fatal hospital visit, ER visit yourself waiting to happen. That's effed up, man. Dr. Robbie, I don't know if he'll go. I don't know who it will take for him to not go on that. Maybe Dana, because they have a very tight relationship. But everyone's basically told him, whether it's Garcia making underhanded comments, now Duke and Whitaker, everyone's told him, "What are you thinking?" And now maybe his motorcycle friend, motorcycle mentor, if you want to call it that, is kind of telling him, "Dude, you need to slow down. Like, this is not healthy for you. This is not safe." So, yeah, that aspect will be interesting to see. And then lastly, I want to touch on the whole situation with Becca, because this is absolutely wild. Some of the reactions are funny too, but first of all, I want to start with, I like how we're diving into more Becca as a character, Dr. Mel King's sister. Last season, we kind of saw her in passing. We kind of saw her in conversation with Dr. Mel King, but now we get to see her as an introspective, as a character. And I like how, for all intents and purposes, we're really deep diving into Becca as a character even more. So we know she has a infection that Dr. Lang has to treat over and over, and Dr. King gets done with her deposition, which she's clearly upset from that and miserable from that. But she comes down and Dr. Lang goes, "Because of HIPAA, I'm sorry. Like, I can't tell you what the hell's going on with your sister. She'll have to tell yourself." She tells her, and I don't mean to laugh, but when Mel tells her that when Becca tells Mel that she's been being intimate with this new boyfriend that Mel had no idea about, her jaw drops, and I couldn't help but laugh. I don't want to laugh, but I did. Like Dr. King is just another thing for her to deal with. She's got a deposition. She's working at a hospital that's dealing with a cyber attack and overflow patients from this fatal water slide incident. And now she has Becca to deal with, apparently some unknown boyfriend that she's been intimate with. I don't mean to laugh because it's getting overwhelming for Dr. Mel King, but Mel's clearly upset about all of this. It's all mounting. So anyways, guys, from a top-down view, my biggest takeaway from this episode was a very emotionally draining episode, at least for me as an audience member. Please let me know down in the comments below if you feel the same. I think I'm going to give this episode a final rating of a 9 out of 10. It is nothing against the writing. It is nothing against the actual meat and potatoes, per se, if you would, of this episode. It's very hard to watch, and it was very difficult to get through from an emotional perspective, an emotional lens, if you would. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for those reasons. Please let me know in the comments below what you think. Did I miss anything? Speaking of comments below, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to this channel. Share this video with anyone and everyone you know. Please follow me on Twitter /X at @AWineGunner13 for any other additional movie/TV show discussions, thoughts, and opinions. Drop them all over there. And yeah, thank you for the support as always. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.